Hello everyone, this is Teo. In today's video, I want to review the Kuretake brush pen, more specifically the one with the synthetic bristles. Now Kuretake, they make a lot of different types of brush pens, so this is sort of like the disposable one. I also have the more expensive version that comes with the sable bristles. This particular model is called number 50. It has a nicer looking body. In today's video, I wanted to focus on this. I will make the brush pen comparison in a separate video. I'm not sure if this is the model number. It could be DT140-13C. This is around 15 to 20 US dollars if you get it on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it on eBay as well. I like the packaging. It's very nice. I like how they have this little slot here that lets you pick up the brush pen easily. This is the cap. Surprisingly, it feels quite premium. And these are the ink cartridges. So let's open up the ink cartridges and take one out. The brush pen is made in Japan. Now if you want to refill this ink cartridge, you can use a blunt needle and syringe. This is the needle and syringe that I use to refill some of the ink cartridges where I cannot find ink converters for. I'll put a link to where you can find this online. Anyway, Kuretake brush pens, they use the platinum fountain pen ink converters. This is how the platinum ink converter looks like. So you actually do not need to use the needle and syringe. I just want to give you additional options. The platinum ink converter, it fits the Kuretake brush pen perfectly. But today I'm not going to use this. I want to use the ink cartridge that is provided because I want to test out the ink. So let me put this in. There's a little ball here, so you have to push hard to get the ball out of the way. So now the ink should flow down. It should take a few minutes for the ink to get to the hair. So we have white synthetic bristles here. The difference between synthetic bristles and the sable bristles is the sable bristles is supposed to last longer. But both brush pens, they are capable of producing sharp tips. So you can see some of the ink has soaked their hair. One of the most commonly asked questions I get about brush pens is, what ink should you use to refill them? Well, I'm not too sure, but this year I will be using brush pens a lot more, so I will sort of research and give you a more conclusive answer. And this body, I'm not sure if it's metal or plastic, but it feels like it's metal. The build quality is very solid and feels really nice to hold on to. Let's take a look at the cap. The build quality of the cap is also very solid and it looks really nice. So that's a nice logo there. This is the clip. It's quite tight and I like the gold trimmings. It's very beautiful. I would say this looks almost as beautiful compared to the number 50, which is more expensive. And it certainly looks much better compared to the Pentel pocket brush pen. So once the ink has soaked the bristles, we get a nice sharp point. Let's draw something. I want to draw it big so that I can test out the ink flow. So when you're drawing with brush pen, you can get that textured look. And when you are very careful with how you place your strokes, you can get really thin lines. Depending on the pressure that you put on the brush pen, you're going to get thin and thick lines, which is really nice. So now I'm using very little pressure to get those thin lines. And let me put down a bit more pressure to get the thick lines. The line variation and the texture makes the brush pen more interesting to use compared to fountain pen at times. Let's see what we get when we draw very quickly. So when we draw very quickly, we get this dry brush effect, which is quite nice, and it's suitable for drawing hair like this. This sort of texture effect is something you cannot get with fountain pens. So maybe I want to slow down because I want to put in more blacks here. I can do so. So when I slow down and draw, I can have more ink on the paper. But if I draw very fast, then I'll get all this dry brush effect. So let me try and create some thin and thick lines by pressing down with the brush pen as I draw. There are many different brands of brush pens out there. Kuretake, they make pretty good brush pens. The other advantage of using brush pens is you can use the brush pen to cover large areas of black very easily. But this is, of course, going to use up a lot more ink. So it would be good if you can use your own ink refill rather than buying those disposable ones. If you really want to cover the white of the paper, you have to go very slowly. But if you just want a textured look, then you can draw very fast. Like this. You can draw thin lines really easily, almost effortlessly. So the Kuretake brush pen performs really well, as I expected. This is not surprising, I've used their products before, so I mean, this is a great brush pen to get. I think this is even better compared to the Pentel pocket brush pen because at least with this, you have the option to get the platinum ink converter should you want to use your own ink refills. Let's see if the ink is waterproof. And looks like it's not. So if you want to use the brush pen with watercolor, you should use your own ink, something that you know is waterproof. As with all brush pens, you should use them frequently to prevent the ink from drying up. Even when it's kept like this, that's a nice click. It's not like perfectly airtight, the ink will still dry up. And when it dries up, the hair will become stiff and difficult to clean. You can clean these by using warm water, or you can flush out the ink under a tap, or you can get those fountain pen cleaning liquid, or those liquid that are used to clean India ink to clean the brush pen. And if you do regular maintenance, the brush pen should last for a longer time. So to conclude, this is a wonderful product. It looks good, it performs very well, and the price is quite competitive. So to me, it's really worth the money. I'll put some links to where you can find this online in the video description below. And that's all for today's review. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye!